Hello, this is Elizabeth Clare Brewington with Elton Brewington, and we are on the Discover Brightside video channel. And while you're watching, we hope that you will subscribe and that you'll watch the video right till the end. It is important that you watch the video right in the end because we need those algorithms and we need you to do that. Not only that, but when you watch it till the end, you will find out how to get these amazing books, and you are on the Brightside Book Club channel. Earlier, we were partnering with Mama Picklesworth for our children and kids books channel to get people to read more. So, hello, Jim Sher, and welcome and congratulations on writing this amazing book about astrology.
Oh,
Many of us are so confused, and astrology has so many different versions of it. So you, as an educator, have now presented the facts to us. So we're so excited to meet you. So share your story and your journey.
thank you so much, Elizabeth. My name is Jim Sher. Um, I spent, I would say, about 45 years working as a social worker and psychotherapist. And during that time, I discovered that astrology, when approached in a modern way, could uncover a great deal about an individual, their motivations, their drivers, and things like that. Over the years, I developed kind of my own method of using astrology, which I began to teach here in Los Angeles in about 25 years ago, and developed basically all of the things that caused me to write the book, Astrology as a Spiritual Path, Birth of the New Human. My main hope was that readers would use it as a tool for evolution, transformation, just as it served myself, my clients, and thousands of the students that I've had since 2000.
Wonderful. Astrology has a lot of myths. So can you share with us some of the common myths that people believe in that are not true, and then tell us the facts about astrology. What is astrology? Yes, let's get there.
Well, to start with kind of the myths, it's a very complex art and science. And the first kind of most important thing to note is that the sun sign is not only not the most important thing, but sometimes it's one of the less important things when you look at the overall chart. And of course, with modern day astrology, you see sun sign astrology all over the place. And that means it's dividing the 12 signs in a very broad way that's not specific to the individual. An individual chart is a complex composite of the time of birth, the ascendant, the sun, the moon, the relationship between the planets, and that's where it gets quite complicated. And the second thing is the issue of fate versus free will. A lot of people believe that astrology means that you don't have any free will at all. And I admit that you can't look at astrology and not recognize that there is certain types that all of us are. But to me, and this is why I use astrology, is that number one, it's an indication of probabilities and potentials rather than just fated, this is who you are. And in fact, the more you understand your psychological patterns and temperament, the more free will you have as you bring consciousness and awareness of yourself and others into your everyday experience. So it's a matter of not being controlled as you learn to, you might say, wake up to all of the uniqueness that we all have. We all have our own charts, right? That means we all have our unique patterns that are part of a collective similarity because they're all composed of the same archetypes, the same themes. And that makes us all human, but in an extremely unique way.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm actually from India, and they actually match their soulmates. They have arranged marriages. They are able to match you with your astrology to find
Right.
the perfect partner, and it has worked for centuries. So that's amazing. Now, tell us about the book. What made you write the book, and why now, after all these years?
That was an interesting question. It happened very suddenly. I think it happened primarily because the way that astrology was being used publicly was either very limited or downright negative. I have many examples from students that were told by an astrologer terrible things, such as one woman was told that she would die in an airplane crash, and so therefore she never, flew again,
Hmm,
which is a misuse of astrology.
sure.
But many people have the idea that um, it's a very fated thing. And the Western mind rejects that on one hand. We want to believe we have total free will, but it also, we all know that we're different from each other too. So I used astrology to help me understand the other person. And that started kind of when I was a therapist. When I was a therapist, I did not know astrology. I learned astrology, you might say, as a result of starting to study astrology and realizing that it had more information in it than the psychological tests that I was trained in. And it it didn't stereotype. It gave me an illumination about what a potentials of a person might be. So when I communicate with a client, it gives me a way of understanding them or what kinds of questions to ask them that might save time as I get to know them and they get to know the therapeutic process. And
Yeah.
so it evolved, in other words. The way I used astrology evolved as I learned astrology through the people that I met.
Hmm,
I agree. I
hmm.
totally agree.
That sounds amazing,
Yeah.
Doctor. I mean, in terms of that, then from your description, we haven't even scratched the surface as it relates to understanding, astrology and how it relates to humanity and our different personalities from the standpoint of growth and exponential relationships. Is that right?
That's exactly right. And that's why I started teaching astrology, and that's what drove me to write the book.
Ah,
When I was young, the last thing I ever thought I would do would be write a book.
okay, okay, really. Well, that's I had a third grade teacher. She just left us, but she and I was trying to encourage her to write something, but she never did. But she had such a wealth of knowledge and information and understanding. Her thinking was that she didn't have that kind of capacity to share with other people.
Yeah.
There was nothing available to her that would be shareable so that she could inspire other people. And I always told her that's not true. But even if it's only inspiration. But so we walk around with these clouds over our heads with those thinking, and we all have experiences that we can share with other people, and we all have inspirations that we can share with other people, and we all have experiences that we can share with other people. They could, who knows, remove the veil from our eyes and our minds, and so we could experience a greater state of freedom.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
can understand that. It's a scary thing
yeah,
to sit down in front of the blank page and have a general idea and then have to put it into words.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
an interesting problem for astrology because astrology is basically these archetypal cosmic principles that there is no exact language for.
hmm, hmm,
And so it has to be translated into understandable concepts. And you might say you have to get artful in using language, um, and think of metaphors that allow a person to understand and relate to it, which is another reason why I found it helpful when I was working with individual as a therapist. It gave me a language to help me understand how I might be able to approach them and to ask certain questions that would evoke more information that allowed for a flow of communication between me and the other person.
Who was there was a writer, no, not Kathleen. She was a great she was a writer regarding astrology, and she would always write these passages about experiences about people from different. What was her name? She was well renowned. Not Kathleen. She's written. Yeah,
Okay, while you think about that,
okay.
I have one more quick question.
Sure. Yeah.
And that is, what do you think about AI using astrology? And we had Irina, who has developed an app, and I'm going to introduce you to her. And in her app, she actually has astrology readings. What do you think about them? Are they accurate, or do you think this whole new world of electronic age?
I think, first of all, honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay,
That's
fair.
That's being very frank. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I feel like AI is in its infancy. And so combining the infancy of AI with the sophisticated nature of astrology's interpretation. Remember, astrology is interpretive, which means that you might say the person, there's no way there's an objective form of astrology. It's not objective. I have a chart myself. That chart interprets another chart, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
I'm coming through my experience, my set of potentials when I relate to another person, but also when I look at the chart.
Okay.
Which is why when I start a consultation with somebody, I'd like to get to know them first a little bit. I don't just start with my, reading as sometimes the customary. I want to know how I can relate with them. I want to relate to them from human to human.
Okay.
That sounds great. And my last question is, tell us all about the book, what people can expect from the book.
Can't wait to read the book.
Can't wait to read the book. I know it's on its way to us. And tell us why they should buy the book and where can they find the book.
Well, the book is really interested. I meet a lot of people who consider astrology to be interesting. I would say I did a sample in a restaurant. I just asked casually, do you think there's something to astrology? And half of the people said yes. But I also don't really know. And so part of what drove me was that I knew that people could connect to astrology if it was presented in a way that the modern mind could understand, where it was not just fate versus free will, and this is how you are, that's all you'll ever be, and that sort of thing. And so also, and this is important as well for me, to me, astrology has to be integrated with science, philosophy, and psychology. It should be part of a holistic system. It should not, in my view, stand by itself. And so my whole orientation is to combine it with philosophy, psychology, spirituality, metaphysics. All of those things, to me, astrology is a subset of those things. And so intellectually, it can be challenging as you try to, in the old days, we had wisdom schools. Wisdom school, by definition, to me, means you're integrating knowledge from a variety of sources. And the home of many of these things in astrology is India. So much that we get in astrology, especially, there's a very famous book. It's about a man who, in the 1880s, went to India and was taught to learn from the masters logic, how to think. It was not just to meditate. It was way more sophisticated for many of them. And astrology is part of that. So that's kind of also, the book is an attempt to put astrology on a new footing. I have this little saying, my goal is to develop a total reimagining of astrology so that it does allow for the modern mind to accept it and appreciate it.
Oh, I love that. Gets the modern mind to accept it and appreciate it. But I think this new generation of millenniums and I don't know all the names that they're called, but I think this new generation is more approachable to astrology than, say, my generation. And of
Me
course,
too.
I grew up with it all around me, so I'm a big fan of it as well. But thank you for joining our show today, and I'd love to catch up. We're going to get your book, and I'll put it in the bookstore, and I hope everybody gets the book and writes a
That'd be
review
wonderful.
for
It's
Jim.
available,
And
available on Amazon.
yeah, and it's been just amazing to have you on the show. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, we have Richard. Go ahead, Richard.
Just for background, my wife has studied astrology, so she does charts for us, not to the depth you're doing, but it gives us some basis to go on, especially around our birthdays. But what I understand and look at, much of what you said with is your intuitive knowledge and your intuitive awareness when you're creating these, because I mean, that's how I work with clients. A lot of it just kind of flows in because I'm trusting my intuition and my connection. And I think so much of our society has diminished that, the way they've sort of polarized people and sort of taken people's power away to into the more physical aspects. So I think coming back to this, if people learn to trust themselves and their gut instincts, and then as their awareness of what they're doing and what you're doing with them, I think that's where we want to, in my opinion, lean towards. Because it's
I strongly agree.
yeah.
To start with astrology, like anything, you have to learn the nuts and bolts, the basic principles. But the more you do, the more you understand something that goes deeper than words. And that's why I think intuition is connecting with, called source, God, the divine, whatever, that can inspire you to have realizations about a chart that you can't have on your own, so to speak. It's not an egotistical thing. You have to be open.
Thank you.
It's also a more fun way to live.
I know.
Isn't it?
I think it's fascinating. I think this book will dispel all the myths, and I think I can't wait to read it. And anyone who had a question about astrology all these years, and it'll also help astrology to get some more credibility. I would use the word credibility because there's been so much fake, people misusing the information and giving wrong information that has created it to not be so reputable. So this book will give some legs to that and create an awareness, and I think give it a new light. So if you have an open mind and you want to learn about how you could do anything right with astrology, when you can uh, get wealthy, and when you can get a job, and what are the good days for you to meet your soulmate. So it's got a lot of things that you could do with it. So
That's true.
thank you, Jim, for being on
Thank you,
my
Elizabeth.
show. And I am excited. Does anyone else have any questions? We do have a little time before we do the Mexican section. Um, any questions?
Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth.
All right. Well, thank you so much. You are on the Discover Brightside show. My husband and I, Elton and I, discovered that we didn't want to be on the negative side of the world. The news was getting to get so negative that we decided to do a positive channel and bring you some experts, some academics, some coaches, some authors, everyday people, founders, nonprofit, people who are doing the good in the world on our channel, because we felt that the world is changing and you need to change too. So we can empower you, keep you up to date with the latest and the greatest. And this is our book club. And we're trying to recruit people. So if you're a reader, you like to write reviews, and you want to learn how to write reviews or play a bigger role on social media, become an influencer, learn how to use, like they say, the power of the pen, but learn how to use the power of new media, then join our club, because we'll be training you, we'll be showing you all the latest things, and come to our book club. If you're an author, you will meet other authors, you will learn new things, how to market your book and how to get successful on Amazon. So we want you to get successful, and so we'll be showing you a lot of great stuff. So thank you for watching Discover Brightside. Make sure you hit the button and subscribe so we know you're watching. Try to watch our videos from the beginning to the end so we get some good algorithms going. Richard's video was one of our videos that went viral, and I hope the other videos will go viral. I think, Clifton, your new video is going to really hit the spot, and I think Joanne had some great visuals as well, and I can't wait to see Richard present Mexico in a few minutes. So we are doing Empower Global, and we started last week, but we had to extend because we had so many speakers. So I had to extend it to an extra day, and the extra day became even bigger than I thought. So that was amazing. We went around the world, and we visited the UK, we visited India, we visited the Caribbean, we visited Africa, we visited Mexico, we went to Houston, Texas, we went to South Carolina, we went to Mesquite, Texas, California, Malibu, Los Angeles, North Carolina. So we met people, amazing people from around the world who shared their stories on the channel. And you can get all our videos on Empower Global discoverbrightside.com/global. And we'll make sure that you have those links. So if you subscribe and get our magazine, you will never miss a video, and you will never miss a conversation, and you will always be caught up on what we are doing on the bright side. So thank you for watching.